I am Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. All right, y'all. It is Thursday. It's nasty out there today. It's 55 degrees, but it's wet. It's cold. Whew, horrible. No one likes it when it's wet like this. Hopefully, you are taking care of yourself, that you're staying dry if you can. But it's Thursday, and we can have a little quick conversation here. Always doing the work. Those of you that have been inquiring, my recovery is going well. You know what I'm saying? Can't complain. Go and get the cane. I got the cane, so I'm ready to go. I will not be deterred. The revolution will be televised. That's what we're doing, right? So, the show must go on. Unfortunately, I was not able to be mobile enough, to do the Resiliency Econo Systems workshop today. It's a really good one today. I was really looking forward to being there. They were talking about the 4 agreements and getting into the book of Ishmael. So I was really looking forward to that conversation. So shout out to everyone in that organization. And of course, our own Tony Wallace that's there in attendance. So he'll have to bring back some good information and tell me what I missed. Anyhow, I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. Uh, I am ridiculously busy, but I am the orator of my own insanity. This is a true story. I was just telling my consultant, shout out to Erica Duncan, yesterday, that if I get some time that's freed up on my plate, I tend to fill it with something else, and it's a problem. So, thank you. I appreciate that. Looking and sounding good, sir. And it's really nasty out here. Yes, I know. Rob is currently in the middle of transporting folks. I think he just picked up a client from KMH, um, and so the work must be done, right? Folks need to get where they're going, and that is what we are here to do. And so, we are like the postal service of old, right? I guess they're saying it was like it didn't matter what it was, rain, sleet, snow, they were always on. So that's how we feel. We are always on doing the work. So that said, should you need us, you can give us a call, gather together, grow together at 360-373-3000. You can email us at grow at g2.org. We can fulfill your transportation needs. If you know someone or if you yourself are facing food insecurity, we do serve hot meals that we deliver on Thursdays. Please give us a call by Monday so that we can make sure that we get enough ingredients so that we can prepare enough meals for you and your family should you need them. And then, of course, we are still doing concessions. Told that I need to keep announcing that. So um, I would say, unfortunately, for Seahawks fans, we were at the Monday night game. So, it was bananas there for sure. Our team had a good time working the event, although the outcome was 13-10 for the Saints. So, again, we've got Sunday football coming up on Halloween. And then I believe there might be one more game. Then they go on the road and they have a bye, and then they'll be back toward the end of November. So plenty of time for you to come in, get your food handler's card and your alcohol permit completed, which we pay for. And then we will ensure that you get to the event and back. If you are needing community service or you're on probation and you need a letter to leave the county, we can make that available to you. So it's a great way to give back and be a part of something. There's not a lot to do here in Kitsap County on the weekends. There is no bus service on Sundays. So it's a great way to connect with some other people and do some good in the world. So come and join us. Again, you can give us a call at 360-373-3000. We'd love to have you. Or give us an email at grow at g2.org. G2.org, and that's G the number 2, G the number 2.org. It is right there in the text there for you. And as always, if you type in the chat or you send a message through any of the broadcast ways that we get this information out there, you can do that. So either through Twitch, the various Facebook pages, or YouTube. Go ahead and reach out to us, and we'll get you all set up. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as that is concerned. But I wanted to come on today because, again, we must get involved. I keep telling you that power is taken, it is not given. It is time for you to exercise your power. But to do that, you've got to go beyond memes on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and commenting, but actually getting involved. I'm not saying that that doesn't not help, but I think it is marginal at best, and we have to show up in these spaces. And so Senator Randall has a coffee hour. I believe it's once a month. And so I decided to sign up and join because I had an issue that I wanted to bring to our senator. And, there's something that I want you to just note that you see on the screen. And if we look at the names there, you will see Cameron Cockridge, which is LA to the senator. So I don't know what that is, a legal assistant maybe. You see Hannah Sobia Howell, Senator Randall something. So she is there. Both of them obviously work for Senator Randall. You see Senator Emily Randall in the middle box to the left. Then Susan Young in the middle, Dale Walker to the right. Below in the left, you see Joy Lee. And below that is Molly Rainey. And then not pictured is Beard Juanita. And I am in the center of the two employees for Senator Randall. What do you notice? What do you notice? I'd say one of these kids is playing his own game. Come on, can you tell which one? Can you tell which kid is playing his own game now before the song is done? Before the song is done. Well, the song is done. I don't see much in the way of representation. I don't see much in the way of representation. So how do you expect your issues to be heard if you don't tell them to the people that have power? They're not hearing from you. And this was an hour. I got in here late. There's about 20 minutes here. Let me see what this is at 20:06. And just I'm not going to play this because I'm more concerned with what my issue is. But
and from May until October 2nd, Southworth was never mentioned. It was, we're looking at Harper for mortgage option.
And so this is about the ferries, right? And I'm just going to fast forward, and you can see how much time she had with the senator to address her issues, right? This is important, but you've got to be present in order to have your voice heard.
So
yeah,
she's still speaking, right?
Thank you.
Now, when Deborah Jackson went and spoke with the commissioners the other day and brought folks down there, they had 3 minutes. So this is great. If other people don't show up, you got the floor, right? You've got a captive audience with our senator. Pretty powerful person in our state, right? And an advocate in our county. Also, I give a shout out to Deborah Jackson. She surprised me today, brought me some grilled pork chops, which was fantastic, and some chicken. The pork chops I was bragging about the other day that I had Rob went and got them for me the day of surgery, which was yesterday, and then she brought them, and that was awesome. So that was great. It's good to have folks that look out for you and then take care of you, for sure. And so I wanted to acknowledge that. I've got, Martita sending me texts, folks are reaching out. So sometimes it's just easier to get out and just blast out, okay, I'm doing good. I'm all right. because the love is pouring in. So definitely appreciate that. So back to what I was saying. So, the next person is talking about
like with the
something that I think is really
document that guides their practice, then it will not be honored. But it also if impacts reproductive health care. And again, people often think that that means abortion. And it's true that that does, but it also means that a woman having an ectopic pregnancy will not be treated for that if there is a fetal heartbeat detectable.
And what she's talking about is, many of these hospitals are Catholic hospitals, right? And so their religious beliefs trump some of the medical services that we may need to receive. And so some of those things are, we have some laws on the books that allow people the end of life care on how they want to, you know, pass away with dignity. And because these are Catholic hospitals, they don't adhere to that, right? And we know how Catholic hospitals feel about abortion. And so these are some really big conversations that are being had. And so, again, what I encourage you to do, it's great that you post on Facebook and Twitter, and you're out there and you're making it known and you're sharing, right? But you've got to do more. And so these women, all women, all middle-aged or upper-age white women, I don't know what nationality or race Beard Juanita is, are making their voices heard. And even then, there's only four, right? These two up here, these two work for the senator. So it's just Susan, Dale, Joy, Molly, and Beard. If I didn't sign up for this, there would be no men. There would be no African Americans or Black. We cannot expect change if we are not going to go and ask the questions and get involved. We have got to do this, folks.
If somebody from your office can let us know.
Let me get to my piece here and share this with you, because for me, right, I'm representing Gather Together, Grow Together as the executive director, right? And so I have questions for our senator based on the services that we provide here in the county. Let's go ahead and listen.
And I see Marwan joined us. We only have a few minutes left, but Marwan, if you wanted to raise any issues, that are on your mind as a constituent.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Senator. My name is Marwan Cameron. I'm the executive director of Gather Together, Grow Together. We're a 501c that operates out of Bremerton, downtown. We work with the county and KCR to provide eviction assistance to tenants here and hopefully keep them housed. But with the eviction, the moratorium ending, the bridge program at the end of this month, the rising housing costs, the increase in the Delta variant, the lack of affordable housing, job automation, wage issues, anti-vaccine concerns, the strained relationship between landlords and tenants, banks canceling folks' credit cards, rental and credit scores issues, as you guys just talked about, deteriorating mental and physical health. We also provide transportation. We have partnership with KMH, so we have a transportation service, and we partner with them to try to help them to do that. But it seems like tens of thousands of folks are going to find themselves in a really bad situation as this bridge ends. Currently KCR has 600 people on their waiting list waiting to get money for rental assistance, and Bremerton Housing Authority has 90 people with vouchers that are still trying to find housing. And so as we go into the winter, I really fear that this is going to really create even more of a crisis. And you've got the rescue mission that is, already busting at the seams and have, more folks that are, facing homelessness. Are there any novel ideas being generated to help minimize and address this crisis that, I haven't heard about, and how we can get involved and try to help there? And I think that's really going to disproportionately, affect the BIPOC community.
Yeah. Thank you for raising that, Marwan, and for your work in the community to help, connect folks with service and support. It's On all my colleagues' mind. We just had our retreat on Monday and Tuesday for the Senate Democratic Caucus, and healthy communities and housing supports were, at the top of everyone's list, recognizing that we've spent a lot of money, and some of the most money we've ever spent in the past few years on housing, and it's nowhere near enough, especially as folks are coming out of the eviction moratorium and as you mentioned, struggling, even if they do have housing assistance, to find rental options. I know that Rep. Simmons is working on a housing bill that will make it easier for folks with criminal records to be able to access housing. That's a real struggle, I think, for a lot of folks. They're just written off, and landlords are not considering them for housing options, even though we know that that's not the best metric for whether or not someone will be a good tenant, and that everyone deserves a place to live. I think there's also going to be a lot of capital dollars invested in funding. I expect we'll also see some bills around siting and zoning, which continues to be a huge challenge. In South Kitsap, I think we're finally at a place where there will be a site for the tiny houses that Commissioner Garrido has been working on siting for such a long time. Everyone says they want people housed. They don't want to see people unhoused on the street. And over we hear folks say, but I don't want it anywhere near my neighborhood. And so finally, I think we'll be able to, there's a space on Mile Hill that will be some transitional housing, but again, not enough. I've been, glad to work on the KCR board to secure funding from the state. Senator Walfus asked for it in the budget for capital dollars for permanent supportive housing in Manette with wraparound services for folks. But then again, it's so few units. We can build only so quickly. And so I think zoning and incentives are going to be on the list of to-dos this next session. Lots of money for emergency assistance. I think there continue to be folks advocating for the governor to extend protections if possible. I know that there are some folks in Bellingham working on a ballot initiative to require landlords who are evicting tenants to provide them some funding to transition and find new housing, which is, based on a Portland, Oregon model. We may see something like that. I think there are some house champions that continue to work on some innovative ideas. We'll have a better sense in December once folks can start filing bills of what the universe of options are.
Well, Senator, if I can add, I think there's a potential blind spot that people aren't aware of. And that is for these apartment complexes where a lot of low-income folks live. When they submit their application, it's going to an agency. And so they have poor credit. They have, gap in employment, right? Their, the work history is as such. Maybe they don't make 3 times the rent, aside from the, criminal records that Tara is working on. And so now folks are being rejected right off the bat. They don't meet those qualifications. And so that's a huge bottleneck there. So I don't know if there's something that can be discussed and addressed from that aspect.
Yeah, I'll definitely bring that up with our housing staff and some of, the members of our housing committee to see if that's something they've been exploring. I know one additional thing I didn't mention that doesn't solve necessarily the problem, but helps us understand the scale of the problem. Senator Cooter is working on a bill to require a housing, like a rental housing database. Other states have this so that, just like any other business license, if you own a rental unit that you're, renting out, then you have to register it so that we know how many rental units there are available at any given time. And we can better understand the scope of the problem and in meeting the demand need, in addition to removing those barriers that you addressed, Marwan, that it's not just about how many units are available. It's also about like what roadblocks are put in front of people to be able to access them. Yeah. Well, we are at 6:30. I want to thank you all so much for joining and bringing your issues and creative ideas. I have felt like at the beginning, this interim was slow and I got to do great things like connect with my grandparents and breathe a little.
That is your senator. uh, Emily Randall. And so many of these things we've heard, right? Those things have been shared with us. But it's good to hear it from every level. Clearly, they are cognizant of the problem. I didn't hear anything too much more novel in there. They're looking at some things. Uh, we won't call them best practices. We might call them high impact practices, HIPs, as they are, right? If you think you're doing the best, then you're not doing a good enough job because there's always something better, typically, right? That you can tweak. When you look at other people's practices, it's important that you modify it, right? Because we're on a peninsula, and so we're also have all these Navy bases here, so we've got to contend with that, and then we've got one of the biggest cities in America, 30 minutes away. So we've got a lot of different challenges that impact our housing here in Kitsap County. And if you think that it doesn't affect you, it does, right? The folks that are at Salvation Army or at the rescue mission, right? The folks that are on the street, of course, they are unhoused, facing homelessness, those that are sleeping in their cars, folks that are couch surfing, folks that have moved in with friends and family, folks that are living in different places, either every day or every few days because they don't want to wear out their welcome, right? Really hard to get stabilized when that's your life. Those that are wondering when they're going to get evicted, those that are waiting to have some kind of reprieve and get some eviction assistance relief, those that can't pay their mortgage, those that are property owners that are waiting for money and don't know if it's going to come. And they may actually love their tenants, right? But now they're falling short and they can't take care of themselves and they're aging and they have health issues and they have financial issues and they have family and friend that are suffering that they used to help. Those folks depended on them and now they can't depend on them because they don't have it, right? And it really does affect us all. How many more folks are going to lose their homes because of COVID? So, you could say, quote unquote, they did everything right, right? They were able to purchase a home or purchase a rental property or properties. And now, some of those properties may be lost, because of COVID and the crisis that we find ourselves in. So this isn't just, an issue that affects the poor. This isn't just a class issue. This affects everyone. And so we need to address it. But that said, I'm exhausted. I'm tired of being the only face that I see that looks anything remotely like me in these spaces. And while it's cliche to say, one person can make a difference, yeah, they can. But we can make more of a difference, a deeper, impactful difference, a faster difference, a long lasting difference if there are more of us at the table together. I was supposed to be somewhere else today. If I didn't have surgery, I wouldn't even been at this meeting because there's no way for one or two people to cover everything. So it is going to take the group. It's going to take the collective. And for all the subscribers and all the watchers and all the people that G2 works with or Cameron Management Services or the Conduit or all the agencies we partner with, Surviving Change, Villaging Our Voices, Kitsap Strong, Mesa Redonda, New Horizon, Baptist Church, all of the organizations that we work with, there are so many, whose clients, whose people, whose family experience these hardships. Y'all got to come into these spaces. You have to make your voices heard. I've got a couple minutes and I can't even get everything out that I want to get out just on the housing issue. And that's not the only issue. And I get it. You're busy. You're taxed. You're tired. But it's got to be a priority. Noah was tired when he was building that ark. I don't think he had time for the NFL. I'm just saying. There's a time for play and there's a time for work. We use these words all the time. But because we use them so flippantly, they have no meaning. Crisis, pandemic, emergency. Now, an emergency is, man, I'm hungry and I got to get to McDonald's and the line's too long. It's not what emergency means. Pandemic. People are dying. People are sick. The breadwinners can't go to work. The breadwinners put themselves at risk. Other people that are in the house are leaving and potentially bringing back a deadly disease that might kill a family member. Again, ask yourself, you're 10 or 11 and you bring back COVID and you give it to grandma or auntie because you're living with them now because mom or dad can't, make ends meet. Or culturally, that's how it works, which is great. And grandma or grandpa's already there. But you end up killing them. That's going to be hard for a little boy, a little girl it's heavy. It's heavy. Or the parent, the mom or the dad that's going to work that has a multitude of health conditions. But if they don't go to work, they can't pay the rent. They can't feed their child. They can't pay the bills. They can't take care of the medical. They can't acknowledge their birthday. And how many tens of thousands have perished because of just that they had to go and work on the front lines as servers or gas station workers or grocery store workers, Amazon workers. So we got our stuff in our nice little cozy homes. We're able to Zoom our meetings, remote work. Saw a lot of folks down the shipyard buying their boats during the summertime. You got folks that can't pay their rent. I'm seeing new car stickers. They're doing the most. Like, I remember in January of this year, it was like there's two worlds right here in Kitsap County. Those that seem like the pandemic didn't even exist. And those that are on ventilators, not able to see their loved ones as they perish. I digress. I'm not going to be on here alone today. But I did want to share with you the conversation with the senator. I believe she does this once a month. She's right there on Facebook. All you have to do is type her name in and just sign up for the Zoom. As Deborah took her folks down to meet the commissioner, they meet once a month also. They are accessible. Kitsap Transit, Firmton Housing Authority. I'm not sure if KCR has public meetings, but many of these big organizations do. It's time to make your voices heard. And I know you all can't go, but so many of you have many of the same issues. And if we work together, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us can go and represent for the collective and not be the one voice, but be the many. So I encourage you to find your power. It's there. Let's go. We can do it. All right. We will be back tomorrow. It's Friday. Man, the weeks are going faster. Halloween is what? Sunday? The moratorium bridge ends Sunday night. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I am Marwan Cameron. This is The Conduit. And